Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a few thoughts on some of the things I observed here in Australia, which maybe will help you a bit there in the US. I think firstly the authorities here, I noticed their biggest tactic is to divide and conquer. So they frustrate, like they're doing with you in Washington. They block the exits or the entrances to Washington. They know that the longer they frustrate you, the more likely you are to get, infighting and just frustrated with the whole deal and losing the momentum. And because, people have got homes they need to go to and work and yeah, anyway, divide and conquer is their main thing. I think here in Australia, our weakness is actually our greatest strength in another sense. We don't have one leader who's really stepped up and everybody follows. It's all these factions, and they're all doing their thing. And at first that really frustrated me because I'm like, if we could just get one voice, we get it. And then I realized that if there was one head, they'd cut it off. But because there's multiple heads, so what's our weakness is actually our strength. Because some of those people will burn out and they'll go. And we've seen it here. There's so many different groups doing their things. And people get frustrated. They leave. I bumped into the lady. I was just walking one night at our main camp. And she was just one of the ladies who'd stepped up and started to organise things. And she was telling me all about the inner workings and pardon me, how the original convoy guys were putting demands on her for the money, and then others wanted money for this, and so she said all the groups were fighting amongst themselves, and that's tragic, but that's just people. That's going to happen, and it's not worth giving a lot of attention to that. It'll just suck the lifeblood out of you. I've been involved with I was a pastor, been involved with running churches and ministries and soccer stuff, and all over the world. And I can tell you now, it's all the same. Politics, it's all religion. It's just devoid of the spirit. And if you get focused on it, appeasement's a bottomless pit. Don't appease. Fix on what you're going to do and do it. My suggestion, I'm just going to talk because it's whether or not it happens is irrelevant, but just something that my things to just provoke thought. Where you go with it is up to you, but I think here in Australia, we had an original trucker group of truckers who organised this, and I believe it brought together a platform. And so we ended up in a smaller camp which got run off to a bigger camp. And then when we were in that bigger camp, the truckers weren't really the thrust of it, because here in Australia, truckers don't own their trucks, so it's corporately owned, so there wasn't many trucks. So I remember turning up, but what it did is it motivated people in cars and just general busloads of people. And we made a mantra, everybody's coming to Canberra. Now Canberra's where this is, and so everybody in the camp, everybody was saying that every day. You'd hear it 100,000 times a day. Everybody's coming to Canberra. And so everybody was getting on their Facebook groups, everybody's coming to Canberra, like everyone's coming to Washington. And it started to catch. And so I think I heard there was about 20,000 in that original in the Epic camp. But that was really, it was like our trucker camp. It was like your Hagersville. But the longer those things stay there, everyone came in spirit. People would have stories of, I just felt to come, and women left their husband and kids and just came, and I met them, and just the stories were endless. And but it was a platform, and because we didn't have the trucks, even though it was a trucker convoy with no trucks, or little trucks, little to none, probably wouldn't have been 5 trucks in some of them, not big trucks. It forced people to to go further. And I think the best part is you've got to pick a date to get the general population involved. The truckers are there as your basis, your foundation. But to get the general public involved, get it like springboard off of that. So now to get past the DC police and that, pick a date. I don't know what date, but see if there's something going on in the government. You know, Pelosi's going to be in town or something. You know, they're going to vote on some bill or I don't know what. But pick a date, and let's just randomly now pick a date. April 10th. You don't want it too far away. Now it gives everybody something to focus on. Now you start that whole movement. You get all the word out in the camps, all the factions, because there'll be factions because there's people there. So you're going to have all these different groups wanting to do different things, but you make a focal day. This is the day. You start to get the word out. I'll put the word out on our group. This is the day. April 10th. I don't know. I don't even know what day April 10th is. I'm just grabbing that date, right? I'm not saying to use that. Now, everybody is putting it on their Facebooks. Everybody's telling their friends, and you will find, and this is what happened in Australia, we had coachloads, coaches of people filling up and coming for that date. Convoys of cars and buses that just came down. As they came through the towns, they saw the same thing you guys saw in your trucks as they came through the towns. And when they got here, when we got to the camp, the weekend before, I think our main rally was on I don't know what day it was, but it was on a Saturday. The Friday night before that, it took to go maybe quarter of a mile to get into the camp. It took 2.5 hours. I mean, the police tried to shut down the camp, like any extras, people coming in. There was just so many, it busted in. The Australian Federal Police recorded something like 2 million or 2.2 million cars or something that came into Canberra on that day. And on the rally on the Saturday, there was something like 300,000. That's according to Google. I mean, most people are saying there was 1 million. I don't think there was 1 million. I think 300,000 was probably it. The media, of course, says 10,000, but who listens to them? But my point to you, my suggestions are, as the truckers have brought this together, they've got a movement going, they've got something happening. Pick a date, make it like that. Remember that march you had, the Millions March on the mall years ago there? We're having a march on the mall. This date. 10th of April, everybody's coming to Washington. Everyone's coming to Washington. Now nobody markets better than the Americans. Nobody markets better than the Americans. You get the word out. You get people singing songs about it. You get people, whatever, get it out there. And you will find far and wide, people will be driving from Canada for that day. Tell them if you have to, you park your cars and you march in. So now the police can't divide and conquer, because what you're going to have is there'll be a tidal wave of people. You don't need the trucks. The trucks got you there. The trucks got this thing started. You might get trucks in at some point, but you're going to have to, my suggestion is go to the masses with it, because think about it. How many hundreds of thousands of people are in these groups? They will come. They will bring friends. That Hagersville will explode. If it's a Saturday you do your thing on the Friday night, it'll be full. Highways will be jammed with people coming. Get the word out. Pick a date. Do a rally that everybody can walk in. They can't stop you walking in. But if you keep trying to penetrate, and they're not going to quit, the DC police with trucks, because they know full well that you're getting the bad press. They know full well that you can only take so much of that. They know full well that as you get frustrated, you'll start fighting each other, and they know full well that they'll divide and conquer you. No way. Pick a date. I'm telling you now, folks. Pick a date for your rally. Put a rally on, the Millions March on the mall. Get down the mall. Everyone's coming to Washington, and you're going to Washington, and everybody's going to park, catch trains, fly here, get it out. Put on all the leaders of every group. Put on videos on your thing saying, this is the date. We're all coming to Washington on this day. Come to Washington and meet me. Come to Washington and see me. Come to Washington and hear me. Come to Washington, bring your friends, fly here, get here on a bus, a train, a push bike, rollerblades if you have to, skateboards, I don't care. Get in here. And you watch America roar. So I'm telling you folks, that's my suggestion. Run with that and you'll get through. But ultimately then after that, the police came down hard. They went out, like I said, in squads and just ran people from an hour away out of here. Like it was like running people out of the entire state of Rhode Island. Get out. They wouldn't let them be here. They were looking for them. They still are. They've locked down the campsites here now. There's supposed to be another protest this week. The Australian Federal Police have put out notice that there's nowhere to camp. Everything's full. Well, how's everything full? They just put it full on the computers. But you'll find that in DC. All the hotels will sell out. They'll be, the police are their number one tactic, divide and conquer. Their number two tactic, fear. They'll start pulling people over with flags on their cars and, trying to cancel registration on them, cancel their licenses on them. They'll arrest them. They'll arrest the women and children, drive them up the road and drop them off. They did it in Canada. They did it here. It's the same playbook. The police learn from the police, but the people learn from the people. Put a rally on. I'm telling you, Brian, if you get this, I know we're new friends here. Put a rally on. Pick a date. Tell everybody, I don't care how you got to get here. We're having a date. This is the date we're doing it. You watch it. They'll come. You build it, they'll come. Hey, we're with you. God bless you. If there's any other thoughts I can give you on what transpired here. But again, yes, you're going to get fractions. You're going to get infighting. You're going to get people pulling in all sorts of different directions. Don't even slow down for it. Don't even slow down for it. What people are saying about you is none of your business. I have a friend that says that. He says, Scott, what people are saying about me is none of my business. I live by that. Whatever people are saying about me is none of my business. What they're saying about you is none of your business. Doesn't matter. Doesn't change what you're doing. Live it. Live free. Live free or die. Live free. So anyway, bit of fire there. Getting a bit stirred up for you folks. But I'm excited for you. Your truckers have bought a momentum. Now, switch that momentum into the general population and roll with it. Get a rally going. Hey, God bless you. God, be with them. Be with America. Bless them. Fill them. They are filled. Let the anointing of your spirit flow into their lives even greater. This is your moment. It's your hour. Step up. Step up. God is with you.